Hey non-techies, and welcome back to another tech tutorial. I am so excited about this one. I am using a new software I just discovered recently that I am going to be diving all the way into with you. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about all of the different features, but what I will say is that if you've been with me over, any amount of time, you know that I have used different software, WordPress, Wix, Weebly, what Elementor within WordPress, Show It, and I've used different email marketing softwares, Flowdesk, MailerLite, MailChimp, etc., etc., etc. ConvertKit, right? I still love all of those things. But what I am impressed the most about with System.io is that this software incorporates all of those things within it. So you are able to have emails, a blog, a website, your automations, your rules. You can sell digital products. You can have a course, a membership, just like all of these things are within here. And you can get started for free for up to 2,000 contacts. So, and the highest, per month tier with unlimited is $97. So I'm just like, absolutely, let's do it. There's definitely a link to get your very own free System.io website in the description box. And what you'll see is that I am building a non-techies university. We are starting non-techies university where, as you are watching these tech tutorials, if you say, you see a tech tutorial and you're like, man, I really wish I had a step-by-step guide, where we're going to provide that for you. If you want to get just the one, or if you want to join the university on a month-to-month basis and get all of the guides and tech and tutorials that I create. So I'm really here to support you. I'm really, like I said, excited about being able to do that. And we're going to do all of that within System.io. So the first thing that we're actually doing tonight is I am going to connect the domain non-techies.com to System.io. So what you'll see is I'm already logged in. When you log in, you'll probably be taken to the dashboard. I've gone through some of the steps already because it did have some of my personal information. And so what you would do is you will click on settings and then custom domains, and you'll see the domain name that you created. This is basically like your URL you created when you first got started. That is significant to System.io, right? It's personalized to System.io. Now, when you are ready, when you have your domain, you're going to go ahead and click on add domain, and you're going to type in the actual domain or copy and paste. Then you're going to click save. And it's going to do its job. Now, what it will bring up for you are the configuration that you need to do for DNS. And one thing that I will say is if you already have a website, then, your domain, what you can do is you can comment below where you host your domain and say, hey, how do I configure my DNS settings in GoDaddy, and then I can create a video for you on how to do that. But if you do not already have your domain, I highly, highly, highly suggest you get domains with Squarespace. Now, before this, I would have suggested Google Domains. The reason I suggest Squarespace domains is because Squarespace bought Google Domains, or Google Domains sold their domains to Squarespace domains. So the two things that I like about Squarespace domains is that when you buy a domain, it is already privacy protected. I have several domains with like Bluehost, and it is not, the privacy is not incorporated for free. So you have to pay extra in order to have your personal information protected on your domains with other services. And the reason why that's good is it just prevents like marketers and different companies from trying to reach out to you via mail and phone number to try to provide you services. Okay. So I highly suggest Squarespace domains for that reason, one. But then number two, which we'll get into later, is that Squarespace domains allows you to have email forwards. So again, we're going to get into that later. If you have been with me before, or have gone through some of my history, you'll see I talked a little bit about email forwards with Bluehost. GoDaddy does not allow you to forward emails anymore. So if you are a solopreneur, you're just getting started, I think having a forward is pretty important until you can actually, start generating revenue and income in your business and be able to pay for something like a Google Workspace. So there are some other free alternatives to that we could talk about. If you have a question like, hey, put it into this in a comment, like, hey, what's the other free, work professional email that you suggest, and I'll drop that in there for you. But just starting out, I highly suggest Squarespace for those two reasons. So now we're going to go back to that DNS configuration box that popped up. So if you see it and you don't see it anymore, you're wondering like, how do I get there? It's here again at the custom domains, and then you're just going to click on show instructions. Okay. So one of the things that is really kind of tricky about this is, you see what it says, www, blah, blah, blah. You want to only copy the beginning part of this. Okay, so we're going to copy this. We're going to go to Squarespace, and then we're going to add a record. So the beginning part is the host. It needs to be a CNAME. So that's the type. And then this is the alias data. Okay. I don't think the dot needs to be there. So we're going to save that one up. And maybe, let me see. What is happening here? Okay. It's probably me, guys. Oh. Let's see. Okay, we're not going through all of that. I wonder if this is doing this. See, okay, no. Because, oh. So, I'm actually really glad that we are still recording, because this is something that you might do. In order to do custom records, you want to make sure that you delete the Squarespace defaults. Because if you don't, then it's just going to keep pointing at the Squarespace. And the reason we kept getting an error is because the www cannot point to two places at the same time. So now that we've cleared that up, guys, and this is why, there we go. This is why I say you can learn how to use tech even as a non-techie, because as I like technology, I don't necessarily, I'm not necessarily the smartest person in the world. I just have the patience to figure it out and then also break it down for you. So here we go. The next CNAME that we're going to get, remember, we are only copying the information that is before the actual period. So we're going to copy, select that CNAME type, and then do the same thing here. We're going to copy that whole thing. I do have to delete that period at the end and then save. Okay, now that that's there, we are going to just exit off here and let it do its thing. So I'm going to pause and then I will come back once it is refreshed. Once it is confirmed and ready to go, just to show you what that is. And these are the instructions on how to get your domain connected to system.io. All right, so let's refresh. I'm going to do Command R. I'm using a iMac. You can come here and refresh. It's still not ready. So as you see, this can take some time. And what you're going to be doing is just that, I don't remember if you get an email letting you know that it's done, you might get an email. So if you have other things to do, go ahead and do them. We're just gonna, and of course, you can go do other things within the system and come back. But you want to make sure that you refresh in order to see if you have not moved off of this page. All right, so of course I refreshed before I pressed play. You can do the calculations on the time that we first put this in place to the time that it is now. I would say it's a little over 15, maybe 20 minutes that it took. I don't know, or I don't feel like it's always takes this long, but again, I just wanted to show you. Now it says that it is ready to use. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to mark the domain as the default and I'm going to confirm. And that is it, guys. So if you have any questions about how to connect your domain to System.io, please drop them below. Like I said, specifically if you are using a different domain service and you're wondering how to access your DNS and make those changes, drop those and I'll get back with you. And until then, guys, I will see you in the next video.